Go. Hi, Deborah. Great to catch up.
Hi, yeah, great to catch up with you. How are you?
I'm great, and I'm very excited to be able to find some time to speak with you and toss around ideas on about our journey becoming an online entrepreneur and coach as well.
Excellent. I'm excited. We don't see enough of each other.
Yeah, I know. The good news is we always have Skype and online channels now, so it's great.
Absolutely.
Cool. So, Deborah, I know that we cross paths through our online business, and retired from a corporate executive job. You have very similar transition as me, especially you have more experience in the sales and marketing leadership role. And I understood also. Let me also share a little bit background from what you previously done. You started an online business so that you can actually have flexibility in what you do, right? And I still remember very clearly you talk about your passion to people and how you love most is to actually coach. This is how you get into this coaching role, yeah?
Yeah.
You know what I love about you is the fact that you have big heart, great sense of humor, and truly you are inspiring a business leader to me. So, you have committed to help me to start my business online and holding my hands to get started on a step-by-step. So I'm truly grateful.
Oh, Adrienne, you're welcome. It was my pleasure.
Yeah. And I believe it was since 2017 that you started coaching me, right?
Yeah, I think it was about a year ago. Yeah, definitely. Time flies.
Yeah, imagine that we finally met only a year after, and we just became friends straight away. I love that relationship we have.
I know, and I think when you first meet somebody in coaching, it can go one of two ways, and we definitely built a fantastic rapport. I'll definitely class you as one of my friends for life.
Great. I feel the same about you too. So thanks to sharing a little bit your story. Now I would like to understand from you. You know that actually I became a coach through your inspiration, and today the idea of this call is for us to catch up and also to share a little bit the experience you have as coach, and also help me to be even more effective later on when I'm doing my coaching.
Of course. I'd like to ask you some questions as well, if that's okay.
Sure. So let me ask you a couple of questions related to the role that you have chosen. You were already coaching people both in corporate world as well as your online business, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And, it might sound silly, but would you share in your own words, how would you describe the role of a coach and what is the difference between a coach and a mentor?
Look, the coach and the mentor is such a different thing. A lot of people get very confused, but coaching is very task orientated. We focus on concrete issues such as managing more effectively, speaking more articulately, learning how to think strategically. It requires a content expert to be a coach, so someone who's capable of teaching the student how to develop those skills. Coaching can be short term. You may only need 2 coaching sessions, especially if somebody only needs help with a couple of tasks. That's when they would be looking for a coach. Mentoring is completely different. It's very relationship orientated. So it's for seeking a safe environment. So if you're looking for a mentor, you want to be able to share whatever issues that you've got. It might be professional issues, personal issues, and although specific learning goals are still kind of used, you're creating a relationship. That's what it's all about. Its focus goes way beyond those areas to include things such as work-life balance, self-confidence, self-perception, and how the personal influences the professional. That's a massive thing as well. So mentoring needs to be long-term. You can't be a mentor for 5 minutes. You have to build that relationship and build that trust. And that's why, if we just met each other, Adrienne, you wouldn't open up fully to me. But once you've built that relationship, you find that the mentoree does open up fully, and then you find out the real issues that are hindering their success, and it's just such an amazing thing to happen. You know, successful mentoring can last between 9 months and a year, and whenever I mentor someone, they're normally a minimum of 9-month programs, so very different. Very
Wow.
different.
Wow. You know, you really clarify my understanding of that this time, because I have been thinking about coach and mentor. They were very similar, but you know, they were not quite the same. I like what you have just said, you know, the long term versus short term and the task orientated versus relationship. Excellent explanation. Thank you for that.
It's true. And, you know, I didn't know when I first started out in my online business, I just thought I needed a coach. But in fact, most people in online business need a mentor. They need someone who has gone in those footsteps before them. So, but I'm interested in you as well. You know, I want to ask you, why did you leave the corporate world? You had this amazing career. You were way up there in the corporate ladder. And why did you leave to start your own online business?
Yeah, well, actually, it's a difficult decision, but I would love to relive that decision every day, today, every day, and I wouldn't miss that decision anymore. You know, let me give you a background. I had been in my corporate career. I had been in the corporate job for 16 years. Well, multiple companies, but 16 years. And I started off as an assistant engineer, and my highest position was a general manager, or rather a CEO of organizations in Malaysia. You know, it's time for me to evolve, because I was successful, like you say, in a corporate job in a very early age, and to a point where I only focus on this particular role that I have. Now, when I got married and made a decision to marry my husband, that's when I said to myself, you know, what do I do? Do I sort of like leave my business or leave my career and then just focusing on becoming a wife? Or how do I do both, right? And I realized actually it's an evolution. You know, when you have a career, the next step is to get into next thing that is important in life. For me, my next importance in life right now is focusing on becoming a good wife, and also still not giving up my business. So I want to have my business in parallel. So the only way to do that was really to find my options, especially if you understand my history. I live like 5,000 miles away from my family when I still have my corporate job. If we were planning for a family, if we're planning for growing old together, that doesn't work, right? So I've been searching for options between jobs, between partnership on the business, etc., and startup company. I find that the best way to go is still an online business. Truly, I believe in the flexibility in time, location, and also a decent financial return from it as well. And, you know, just to be clear, when I first got in, I was totally new. But when I made that decision and studied all the different options, I decided to go all in and just move forward.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for telling us that, because a lot of people don't know your story, Adrienne. And you know, we spent some time in Fiji recently talking about it. And I'm amazed. You know, my husband was in the military, and we spent a bit of time away from each other, but we certainly were never 5,000 miles, and it was never a solid thing that happened all the time. You know, I admire you and your husband for being able to get through that, and you know, that really shows a very solid relationship. And like you say, it's a bit nerve-wracking when you first start in an online business, but I guess you definitely made that right decision to have that flexibility so that you could still be with your husband and still get that good return on investment, and, you know, the finances still ticking over. So a lot of people out there today are trying to balance that, going to work, having a family, and it's just horrendous. So yeah, I mean, we both know you made the right decision, and most other people watching this will probably think the same too. So definitely.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy decision, you know. It gave me a lot of humility to also realize that work is not everything. And for someone who only have work to focus on for the past 16 years, to tell her work is not everything, it's like a moment of realization for me.
Yeah,
So,
I hear you.
Yeah, so I think you can imagine the same when you were going through your corporate career, having a family in parallel. It wasn't easy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tough one, but I think you have to be quite brave to make that decision. But you hit the nail on the head. You have to have a balance in your life. You have to. Your family are your family. They're the most important things in the world. And so many people spend so many hours with their work colleagues and very little hours with their family. So it makes sense. It's just having that, I guess, being brave, or just doing it. Just take that leap of faith and just do it, because
Exactly.
if you determine it works out, it does work out.
Yeah. And it's also very important for me to understand from you, because you were an amazing coach to me. You helped me to actually go through that step-by-step journey. You as a coach, right? How did you do that step-by-step approach to be able to take anybody? I mean, I've seen some of your students, to take anybody from zero to hero. What is your expectation when you were coaching your students, and what kind of selection criteria do you have when you were coaching people?
I love that saying, zero to hero. I love it. Look, I think first and foremost, they have to be teachable. Somebody has to want to be coached. That's the most important factor. I have, unfortunately, and it's like in any role that you take on in life, I have come across people that are not teachable. And I do wonder sometimes why they even wanted a coach. But that for me has got to be the most important factor. And I also have to have a rapport with them. We don't like everybody in life, and some people just don't gel. I tend to get on with most people. I'm quite a bubbly, happy person, and it's very rare that I won't gel with somebody, but I do look for that rapport as well. And, you're going to probably laugh at me now, but I look for a sparkle in their eye. And what I mean by that is, I can normally tell someone is really passionate about their business straight away. You can tell they're very animated in the way they talk, and they're oozing passion, and you can tell when they really want to succeed. And that's what I look for. And I want to work with people, or coach people that have got that fire in their belly. They have to want that want it more than anything, and that's really what I look for. That's what it boils down to.
Sounds like me. So I imagine that I probably, because when I first had the coaching experience with you, I bombarded you with questions, and at times I felt embarrassed, and I felt like, oh my God, I'm really like abusing my coach. So
not at all.
That was not bothering you, but I think we get along very well that way. In any case.
I love it, because you brought so much to the table. There's nothing worse than having somebody sitting in front of you on a Skype call or in person that has no, it's going to sound strange now, but no oomph, no fire. They have no questions. They don't really know what they want to do. And that's a harder person to coach. You were a dream, because you had vision, determination, motivation. You knew where you were going. You just needed me to help you get there. So it was a dream.
Thank you. And the feeling is mutual, yeah? And help me to also understand what got you into coaching in the first place then?
Look, I kind of glided into it from the corporate world. In my role, I was a national sales and marketing manager for a massive company. And in that role, I had a massive team. And most of my time was taken up coaching them, guiding them, and teaching them, lots of different aspects. And some days weren't fun. I'm not going to lie to you, very corporate, but that's kind of got me into it. And I realized that that's where my passion lay. I realized that although I loved doing what I did, the coaching was a real passion. And when I left that role, I was looking to coach other people. And, a previous business that I was in, the owner of that business actually asked me to become a coach. So it was like, for me, it was like a dream come true, because I was being asked to do something and getting paid to do it. And it was a passion. I didn't feel like it was a work at all.
Sure. Nice.
But why did you decide to start coaching? Was it something that I did to you, or why?
Well, you certainly have an impact. And I want to also, being in the corporate world for 16 odd years, it's already a long period of time. And what I really discover is I love making an impact. And in the corporate world, when you're making an impact, it's very different making an impact as a manager versus making an impact as a leader. Right? When you're a manager, you really have to manage performance. You really have to get things done. You really have to get people to keep moving, etc. But when you're a leader, you really create an impact by giving inspiration, encouraging people, helping them to see the lights for themselves. So I evolved into the role of a leadership from a manager to a general manager's role. So I decided to really commit myself into developing my leadership skill. And I realized in the corporate world, the truth is, you if you have to face a choice between profit and people, you can't take care of your people without profit. So somehow or other, it became a very short-term oriented decision. But when I came into this online business and into my own entrepreneurship journey, what I realized, because I'm the owner of my business and I have the ability to make decisions for what I do, and I feel that long-term vision is what I long for, helping people to be successful, and then the profit will come after. So the only way for me to serve and really commit to making an impact with my current entrepreneurship role, I said that's the only way, right? Becoming a coach and eventually also become a mentor to people. That sort of gave me the natural, it became a natural decision for me. I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. And, it's so true. If you look at two kinds of people, the people that go out there to earn money, never ever have as much success as the people that go out there to help others, and that's definitely my mentality of it. I have always been successful in everything I've done because I've gone in with the view of helping others become successful. So that makes complete sense to me. It allows you to do that in this kind of business as well, because I get so excited when people in my team, people I've coached, have successes. It's never been about the money with me. It's always been about helping others. It's a passion. And I guess you're either born with that or you're not. But I definitely think you were born with that passion, 100%. From what I know about you, 100%, you've got that in you that you want to help others. And you can't buy that kind of thing. That's there already, definitely.
Yeah, great. Thank you. It's very important that what you touch on, it's really having that mutual passion when you want to become a coach and also when you're coaching. Now, I personally believe that coaching is actually a two-way relationship. It's not really a single direction where you tell people what to do and get things done. But personally, I would like to understand from you, how does this relationship works for you? How does a coaching experience positive and also progressive from you as a coach point of view? How do you make it that way?
Look, I think I know I've got a great attitude. I'm a very positive person, but I think it boils down to the attitude of the student, the person that you're coaching, or even mentoring. I've taught people with lots of technical skills. I've taught people absolutely no technical skills. I've had clients that have been 15 years old, right up to clients in the 90s. None of that makes any difference, It doesn't, it really doesn't. And it's never hindered the coaching because I can guide them the right place and teach them in a really simple way, regardless of their past experiences. But the student's attitude, if that's wrong, and they don't do their part, it won't work. It just won't work. And both the coach and the student have roles in a coaching relationship, and it's key to a good result. So if their attitude's wrong, it's never going to move forward. They're never, let's say I ask them to do some tasks out of our session and they don't do, they've got the wrong attitude. They're there for the wrong reason. So it is all about the attitude, definitely, 100%.
Nice. I felt the same when it comes to coaching people, that the student's attitude was certainly complement effectively the relationship, and that's very, very important.
Yeah, it is 100%. And I
Mhm.
mean, you've learned so much in the last 12 months, Adrienne.
Mhm.
What can you share of what you've learned in the last 12 months with others? I'd be really interested for you to do that.
Yeah, actually, I have only started full time and focusing on this online business in September 2017. It's not quite 12 months yet, almost there. But really, what I realized, there's three main difference when I'm going through my journey of entrepreneurship. First thing I realized is that entrepreneurship, whether it's an online business or offline business, is real work, right? It's not really an overnight success that we will achieve. And to do that, we need to have really, really strong mindset to align ourselves with our values and also our action. So I realized that there are times when I am not in sync with my own values, my day was not productive. But
Yeah.
when my days are in harmony with my actions, I feel like I am like in euphoria. And the truth is not just about making money. It's really focusing on how do you become, how do you create an impact? How do you really help to make a difference? And money is really just a result. That's my realization as well. If we attach to just making money, it becomes so mechanical, it becomes so transactional. But
Yeah.
if you make a decision to say my journey is about making an impact and helping people, you instantly shift from just that result oriented to impact oriented. And that's where the difference in when I was an employee versus today a business owner.
Yeah.
As an employee, we tend to somehow want to make an impact, but if it doesn't happen, it's okay, because in the end of the day, every end of the month, I will still get my money, my salary. As long as I do my part, the rest is not up to me. You didn't feel the sense of in control. Whereas when you become a business owner, you literally have to be responsible for everything that you do, everything, whether is it the result, whether is it the action. So it becomes clear to me there's a clear difference being an entrepreneur, being a business owner versus just being an employee. That was one very clear realization for me. Second thing was really having mental health. Um, I am somebody who is a doer. I like to do everything. I want to know everything. I want to own the result. Therefore, I like to do everything and keep in control. But when I started this online business, I realized the importance of mentor, the real importance of mentor who helps you to give you the right path to succeed. And the only way to make that mentor and mentee relationship effective is really trust the mentor that you choose, because you choose him or her, and trust him or trust her, and apply what he or she tells you. Don't question it all the time. Just apply it. And once you gain momentum, whether it's a positive result or negative result, you will start to understand how to approach it, and you will start to really bring in that entrepreneurship spirit. My last thing about the past 12 months really helped me to understand, um, serving people is a key. You can't expect to have result without really addressing the problem for the people and serving people by helping them to solve their problem. If you're just looking to to serve and wanted a return immediately, it is wrong, right? So in order to serve, you need to know who you're serving to. So the key is to really understand who are your audience, who are you looking to help, how can you make an impact for them, and what are their problems. So shifting from just focusing on myself to serving others, that was also a very strong realization for me. So
It's massive, isn't it?
that's the three things that I learned.
And serving others is honestly, truly, so many people don't get that.
Yeah.
But really serving others, not just offering them some quick fix and then hoping you'll get paid for it, really, truly wanting them to succeed and serving them. And like you said, a mentor really helps that process, because it opens up your thought process and your actions become different. And if a mentor's a good mentor, they will really challenge you. They will challenge you and take you right out of your comfort zone. So you have to do those things. So yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah. When you were a coach as well, I mean, when you are coaching your students, your team, how do you keep track of them? How do you know if they're on the right track with you or not?
I'm a note taker. I make lists about everything, but no, seriously, I honestly can say I tend to build great relationships with my students. If that rapport's not there, they don't last as my students. I love to love what I do, and I love to have those relationships. So I normally remember exactly where we are with the tasks. Again, obviously, it's a two-way street. I expect my students to be on top of their tasks. There's nothing more infuriating than taking up time in my day to a student that hasn't done the tasks that I asked. And it just makes me really question their determination, their motivation. So, I expect them to be on top of their tasks, just like they should expect me to know exactly where we've got in the coaching. So I do have notes. I'm going to be really honest. I do have notes on all of my students. But if you were to ask me a question, about any of my current students, I could probably tell you how many kids they've got, where they went for their vacation, how many dogs they've got. I do tend to pick up on all those things and get to know people as real people. So, I like to make notes purely, if I'm really honest, as a backup, and so that we don't waste time. I don't like wasting time for people. I want them to get the most out of our sessions. So if I've got that, I can have a quick glance down before our session, make sure we're on track, and then I can really make use of the time that I've got with them.
True. That's amazing. So you probably know every single one of your students by heart, yeah?
I really do. And my husband laughs at me because I feel like they're part of my family. I could have lots more students, but I'm very picky. I'm very fussy about who I would coach, because I really want to build that relationship, because there's nothing better than having that rapport with your students. So by default, I'm going to find out a lot about them. And that's kind of my mission. My husband would say that I'm very nosy, but I just think it's part of that relationship building. I think, it's crucial. It's a critical part of that coaching process.
Well, put it this way, if the students is not comfortable sharing, no matter how you probe, you won't get the answers either, right?
Exactly. And I think, you learn within the first session whether you're going to be a good fit for each other. And it's no bad thing for the student or bad thing for me if it's not going to be a good fit. These things sometimes happen, but I think that first session is initially made up to find that out. And I have been known to say to students, I think you should be with somebody that's more orientated to this kind of teaching. If I don't feel we're a good fit, I'm not scared to say that, because I want them to really not waste their money. I want them to get good value and really feel like they've really had that value.
Sure. Very good.
Look, yourself, Adrienne, so many online business out there fail. Let's not beat around the bush. It happens. What can you bring to the table to lower the chance with your clients? Now, there's a question.
Wow.
I told you I like to challenge people.
Yeah, I know. No, I thought about it too, yeah. So, someone once said to me, and when I was going through my mindset alignment on a daily routine, so there's one thing that I remember is that the only reason we fail is because we stop trying. And that sentence sort of kept me going every time when I was about to give up, right? So the only reason we fail is because we stop trying. And then the other thing that sort of clicked to me is, if you are doing the same thing day in and day out again and again, but expect different result, it is what Einstein defined as insanity.
It is. I love that. I use that all the time.
Yeah. So, people came into the online business thinking that, they choose this business model because they don't want to speak to people, they don't want to sell to people. The truth is, it's not about that. The truth is, are you comfortable with your decision of starting your own business? Are you comfortable with your decision? Whether it's a business online or offline, doesn't matter. If you're not comfortable with the decision, don't get started, because you will stumble and you will find there's a lot of roadblock, and then you are not ready or prepared to go through it. So, and that's when failure comes in, right?
Yeah.
That's my only take about how to lower the chance. If you're not in the right mindset, if you are not comfortable knowing the business requires work, requires you to talk to people, etc., don't start. That's my take.
It's so true. And so I've seen so many people over the years that have got into a business for the wrong reason, and they stumble and they fall and they don't get back up because they haven't got the right mindset. And, mindset, you said it yourself, it plays such a massive part. If you've got a goal, you're focused, you've got a great coach or a great mentor that's guiding you down that path, and they're keeping you, excited, because some days we have bad days, but if you've got that, and a passion for what you're doing, you can't fail. And even if you fail, success is there for you. It's just getting there. You just need to get there. Yeah. Definitely.
Yes. So what else do we talk about now?
Oh, I don't know. So many businesses are going online these days. What do you think is the future of the online business?
That one. Really, I believe in the online business is at the peak. So the online business is at the peak, and I believe that the online e-commerce business has grown like double digit in the past 10 years now. And offline business, really brick and mortar and physical business, is only growing on a single digit. That's really the statistic that I've been seeing. Every time when we talk about different statistic between online and offline, that's the case. So clearly it's on a rise. It's here to stay. What is very important also to know that there is governance, there's rules that's tightening up in the online business. In the past, because this is a new economy, not everyone is familiar with that. So it's very important for us to now plan. If you're planning to start in the online space, make sure you understand the compliance requirement. And it's a very tricky situation if you don't follow the compliance to the point. You might just get yourself into trouble without understanding that, and you might be building a nice business, but the authority will be there to get you. So it's very important to do that. And also make sure that you understand what kind of business do you want to associate with. Is it how it's not so critical about what product you sell, what you are putting out there. What is very important is the customer's experience. So you need to understand really what kind of business you're getting into and what kind of customer's experience you want to offer to people. Now, especially we are now, if you look into the online space, it's becoming so competitive, isn't it? So clearly you need to understand what value add you can bring to the table so that you are here to stay. You are here to stay, and more than that, you are here to serve your audience. So that's my take. If you're going into online business, clearly understand the governance, understand the regulation, and understand what are your customers' experience supposed to be, what kind of value-added service you want to offer. And if you're clear with that, the next thing is look into how do you multiply the similar business that you can start so that you create multiple income streams.
Yeah, completely agree. And, it's all about value. It is all about value these days, 100%.
Yeah. And what about yourself? In the online business, digital economy is on the rise. People are now riding to the wave. I'm sure you see sort of like a massive group of people are now getting into wanting to be coach and wanting to sort of get into this business. What kind of advice would you give to people who wants to get involved?
I guess my first advice would again be to research the company you're getting involved with. You know, similar to what you said, they're not all what they seem. You need to make sure that they're compliant in all of those different things. And then the other thing that somebody once said to me, and it makes so much sense, don't get the shiny object syndrome, you know. And what I mean by that is, excuse me, I'm losing my voice, I've been talking too long. What I mean by that is a lot of people try something for 5 minutes, you know. When they don't get results, they go on to the next thing, that next shiny object. They fail at that too. And, you know, that ties into our last question about the failure. They don't wait long enough. They don't try hard enough. And you need to find a business that truly interests you and then become a master of that business before finding another. You know, I am all for diversity. I think you should diversify as much as you can and don't put your financial eggs in one basket. I did that once to great detriment to my finances. I think you need to spread your wings a little bit, but you need to learn one before moving on to the next, you know.
Sure.
And my last advice on that question, Adrienne, would be no business gives you money for nothing. And if people think that that is going to happen, they're wrong, you know. There's no such thing as a get rich quick. And any business that you go into takes hard work and determination to succeed. So I guess that would be my biggest, you know, my biggest take on that. And it's, you know, it's no good learning all this knowledge about your business if you don't put it into action. That's the other thing. You know, take action or you're never going to get anywhere.
Sure. That's so true. You know, and one other question I had in my mind is, you know, how do you see coaching grow, evolve in the digital economy? For yourself, you've been coaching for a while now. You know, how do you see that evolution coming along?
Look, I honestly think we're going to be busier than ever. I can see it happening. I can see that wave happening. And as the digital economy grows, our role as coaches will be to show all those new people in the industry the quick way to getting their business off and running. And you know, everybody now wants a coach. If you think back to the 80s or 90s, very rarely you heard of people having business coaches. And you know, they'd start a new business venture and fail and start another one. It was there, but it was a lot less than it is today, you know. So people these days are realizing the importance of having someone show them the ropes without all the mistakes. They don't want to make all those mistakes. So it makes total sense and well worth the small added cost to your business that to get that coach, get up and running fast without all the hurdles or with much less hurdles. And, you know, I think I said this earlier, but I would much rather walk in someone else's footprints in the snowstorm than risk stepping in my own and sinking in the snow, you know. It makes sense. Why would you want to get through that snowstorm yourself? You just want someone to show you the way. So, yeah, busier than ever.
Good. Sounds like we have, we still have a lot of work to do, and there's still a lot of demand out there, yeah?
Absolutely.
Deborah, it's been a great catch up with you. I like to sum up our catch up today, you know, and also if there's any last message that you want to give to people who is listening in or watching this right now. I believe truly digital economy is here to stay, is the right place to start. But ultimately, it's all about having the right coach, the right mentor, and more importantly, it's also about having the right mindset, right? Now,
absolutely.
What would be your final words to the people out there?
Look, I guess I'd say finding a coach, make sure you've got that good rapport. Make sure they know their stuff as well. You know, you wouldn't buy a washing machine that failed in washing clothes. So think about the skills that you need to learn and then investigate a coach that's an expert in that field. And then I guess finally, you know, go for it. Take action on what you learn. That's what it's all about. Go do it.
Excellent. I love that. Find a washing machine that washes clothes. That's what you're talking about, yeah?
Exactly.
Good. So anyway, it was great catching up. I would love to speak with you again in another time. So, and thank you for really spending time and sharing your insight with me. I really appreciate and enjoy this. I would love to do this again the next time.
My pleasure, Adrienne. It was great catching up with you, and we'll definitely do it again soon.
Sure. So to all the audience who is listening in, I'm going to be sharing this recording with you. And if you're really looking at starting your own business online or just start a business and or thinking about, you know, having an extra stream of income, check out this video and get in touch with Deborah or myself. We're here to help you. We're here to support you and help you to be successful. All right?
Excellent.
Thank you and bye.
Take care. See ya. Bye.
Bye.